Hello, and welcome to another update video about Ethereum. So Ethereum came down yesterday, has recovered since. I've made a slight adjustment to the micro count, but nothing got invalidated. As I told you yesterday, as long as we are staying below 1605, we can follow the current wave count to the downside. But I also expressed that I'm not entirely happy with the microstructure because it looked very choppy. So the overall idea is still that we formed a top possibly in wave 4 or a wave 2 here on Monday. Yeah. And that we're now in this wave 5. That's sort of the base case at the moment. We have to allow for different scenarios here. It could be that this is extending down lower, maybe even that the sell-off gets a little bit delayed. But overall, as long as we stay below 1605, the last swing high, the focus can be on lower. It's just that you need to understand we have approached a very, very critical support level, 1530, and the closer we get, the stronger the rejections will be, the stronger the probability for another bounce, because 1530, as you can see here, has generated a couple of bounces so far, and it's the 78.6 retracement level, a very, very critical support level on this chart. So while we can allow for lower still against 1605, we need to be on the lookout for alternatives as well. That just has to do with the messy structure here. It's not clearly impulsive to the downside. It would be a diagonal anyway, and this fifth wave would unfold as an A, B, C structure. And the A wave here, circle wave A, I did have it labeled as a 5-wave move before. It probably is a 3-wave move if it still works out due to the location where this B wave rally started. Nevertheless, that is something we talked about because I highlighted to you in the last videos that an A wave can of course be a 5-wave move or a 3-wave move. There's no way of predicting which one it is. But for that, even for that count, we would now need to turn to the downside quite quickly. If we don't, and if we see a break above 1605, then I will start to consider more and more that an absolute annoying triangle could be unfolding here. That wouldn't change our assumption. It just means that the move to the downside will again be delayed. Not unrealistic, okay? And I see some signals for that just because it's not following through to the downside more directly and just because Bitcoin isn't following through to the downside. So I have sketched out here in orange with this orange arrow how this triangle could play out. And of course, the trend line is just sort of kind of made up. It is just designed to sketch out that there could be a triangle developing. So the trend line is really just for, or the trend lines are really just for illustration purposes. However, the orange arrow, the orange lines show you roughly how it could develop. How would that triangle look like? I mean, in the end, at the moment, the assumption is that an A wave bottomed here on the 11th of September. We had a B wave rally, which peaked on the 1st or 2nd of October. But it could be that this triangle is still unfolding, or this B wave is still unfolding. How would that work? Well, it would simply mean that this sell-off is delayed, as you can see here. And a B wave triangle would be labeled as a 5-wave move. It's an A, B, C, D, E structure, forming lower highs and higher lows. Only the B wave in a triangle is allowed to create a new price extreme, which it did here, a so-called running triangle. And the wave count would be A wave to the upside, B wave to the upside, creating a new price extreme because it dropped below the beginning of wave A. Then we could see a C wave to the upside, which might still be unfolding as a WXY structure. Then a D wave to the downside and an E wave to the upside. It's basically impossible to predict if this is playing out, but it's a scenario we need to be prepared for if we see a break above 1605, which might happen because we've seen some green candles on the ETH chart today, while Bitcoin is showing some weakness now. Just thinking of the ETH BTC chart, which is completely oversold now. I will cover that as well again. So what could be is Bitcoin is catching up while Ether is just moving sideways. So, they're just the things we need to consider. Be aware that if we see a rally, for example, in orange wave C, it would not necessarily be bullish. It would just possibly be a range rally here in a triangle, forming lower highs and higher lows, and it would take a little while until this E wave is completed before we can get the final flush down. This is just a triangle wave count I wanted to make you aware about. It's too early to really say this is what's playing out. I don't have enough waves for it. But if we break above 1605, I will definitely consider it. Okay, so this is something I was looking at today as a scenario that there always needs to be some kind of a bullish fallback scenario, because we need to know the level when we have to change our opinion. And you know, I've mentioned it before, I don't like the way this is coming down lower. I don't have a very clear microstructure. And whenever we don't have a very clear microstructure, we need to be prepared for potential breaks of the structure. Yeah, but that is what we need to see now. So if this yellow wave count as it is on the chart is playing out, we should turn to the downside quite quickly. If not, then yeah, we start to follow here this long and boring sideways triangle. I hope we can avoid it, but yeah, it's just not the kind of market that always fulfills our wishes, right? So we have to be flexible. So it would just be a bit more grid bot action maybe here. Okay, that's my update about ETH. I hope you liked the update. If you did, please hit the like button, leave a comment and subscribe. And if you really like the content, then please check out the channel membership. Thanks a lot for watching. Bye-bye.